I'm going to start with the portal requirements document. Do you have that? Have you downloaded that from GitHub? Let me go back, I'm sorry. Do you have a number to dial in, or let me see if I can... I have a number we can use. Do you want... Hello?
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
Very good, thank you. Let's see if I sent one to Chitra, but I'm not sure if she's actually going to join, but we can go ahead and get started.
Actually, I was talking to her like 5 minutes ago, and she said that she is expecting the meeting, but afterwards she saw that you have changed the time several times, and I don't know, but I think she might be joining us.
Okay. Well, let me do this. Let me run to the bathroom.
Okay.
And if she arrives, just let her know. I'll be right back.
Okay. Hello. Hello. There's some, I think, background noise. Really powerful.
Hi.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Are you able to hear me?
I can hear you, but can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear
Okay.
you.
All right. So let's go ahead and get started because I know that I want you to make sure you have enough time for everything for your day. I'm going to start with the portal requirements document. So if you can get that, we'll go through that together and just do an overview, a highlighted overview. And let me share that on my screen as well. I'm going to, where is it? Here we go. Okay. What I'll do, I'm going to actually cut my video off so we can have better reception here. All right, so let me give you a little background. The reason why we're creating this portal is because in the past we've had all of ABI communities. Chitra, can you mute yourself if you're not speaking because there's a lot of background noise? Thank you. In the past, we've had, on our old website, we actually had a lot of single pages for each of our communities. And as we've grown, we've actually moved to a new version of our site. We actually moved our servers, and then we actually have a whole different design as well. Petra, I'm going to mute. Can you mute yourself? Okay. And you both can hear me, right?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, I also hear you. I'm just muting my mic for the moment.
Okay. All right. And so what we've done is that we have all of these communities, these extra communities that we are creating. And with the new website, I don't know if you've been to the new website or not. I'm going to let me just pull up that our community page now. It's very bare minimal, and that's just the strategy of our marketing department. Our old website was so incredibly busy that all of us got lost in it at times. But what we wanted to do was have a place where all of our communities would be able to have their own landing page, have their own news area, announcement, so their own mini area based on how they logged in and how actually we designed the navigation. So if you look at the document, the requirements document, the figure ABI community structure, we have all of these sub-communities under Sister that falls under Sisters. So we need to provide it a space for each of these sub-communities so that they can actually pass along information based on their communities only and not just Sisters. Does that make sense? Yes? No?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so these are the new communities, and the Asian women in computing at the bottom there is actually fairly new. That was just a recent announcement, probably a couple weeks ago. But as we grow, we're going to continue to grow, and we want to make sure that the way we design it, it can be configurable. When when um, when actually a new community was started, I actually had to go into the portal and create each one of those pages. And I'm going to scroll to the next one. And here were some of the pages that we had to, each one had an about, each one had an FAQ, which actually really pointed to our sister's FAQ. Each one had the link of the 25th anniversary of Sisters, Best of Sisters blog, and then the founding sisters. When you get down to the lower level sub-communities, they have their own about page, how they join, their own resources, because each community really has their own resources specific for, let's say, Arab women computing, Latinas. FAQ is usually sisters. Grace Hopper. Each one of these communities does something different at Grace Hopper, so they wanted to make sure that they relay it to their community. And then they have their own news. So every single time there's a community or an update, a new community or an update that needed to be hosted, I actually had to go in and make all the changes because this was hosted on ABI's website. So if we had a portal where all of the moderators or whoever they choose to actually be admins and update and add new pages as necessary, I think it would be very flexible, and it doesn't put a lot of work on me because that was all the work that I have done. Every time there was Grace Hopper rolls around, I would have to update the pages. I'm happy to do so, but with all the new communities coming on board, it's becoming cumbersome. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm not looking at the screen right now, but so what I thought of for the portal, and I have ABI as a whole buy-in on this because this is the same challenge probably that we have with volunteer management system. I tried to get everybody together. It didn't happen that way, but we'll still work on doing that before actual coding start, and I'll tell you why in a little bit. But if I look at the functional requirements, and these are just to get started. And we're going to take a very simplistic approach. I want to do an iterative approach to development, meaning if every 2 weeks we can have something available to show and then continue on with the other features, then that would be great for me, so that we can make sure that we're on the right track. So it's like doing a prototype every 2 weeks of a feature, and we can actually test that out as a community. And then, don't worry, it's just going to be a handful of people that we can get in to test out. But really, the 3 user cases, the user scenarios, are from an administrator, my point of view, to set up, from a community user, and what I mean by community user are the moderators or the committee chairs of each of the sub-communities, and then visitors. So all of it could potentially be only their communities, but it could be anyone from Sisters or anyone of the ABI family or anyone outside. When we'll talk about the administrative function, but really the first 2 will only have administrative function, whereas the visitors will be able to peruse all of the functional, all of the pages based on how the community wants it, the community leaders wants it visible.
Okay.
So let's say, I think I only have not that many. Okay, from an administrative perspective, I wanted to be able to at least start off, or at least create administrators. So what I mean by that is that, yes, I'm an administrator, so at least I have to create my own as an administrator, however I wanted to do this. But also I want to create administrators for the other sub-pages, if you will, that some of the sub-communities will have. So if I create a new community category, let's say that it's a special interest group or a technical group or anything like that, then I want to be able to create a new category, a community category, and a new community users. So I listed the 5 different levels, and this is just an example. You don't have to use each one, but I think this makes sense from my standpoint. So admin rights, if I make Latinas in Computing, the 2 chairs of Latinas in Computing admin rights, if I give them admin rights, manage users and content, because they don't do everything themselves. They do have a committee that they work with, and they can actually assign level 4, 3, and 2 with that. Number 1 is really if, in fact, we want to allow people to actually sign up. They don't have to, but they have an option to. And anytime there's an update to the page or whatever, they can get an email or something of latest news or something, an RSS feed or something like that. That's why I put level 1 in there, just to give them an option to. They're not required to, but for the first implementation, I think that's the best approach. And the rest of the area is just, the resource area, organizational meetups, the meetups and community requests, and then organizational administrative give full access. The meetup requests, have you visited our meetup site at all? I'm going to go there.
Yeah, I'm actually using Meetup for lots of things.
Yeah.
And I have seen the Sisters page.
And the thing about it is that we used Meetup. So Meetup has 2 different platforms. It has individual meetups where you can create, you can purchase, I think you can buy additional features. But the one that we're using is Meetup Everywhere, meaning that's a global meetup. So I can just put a global meetup in here, and then all of the other communities would create their own communities based on that one global meetup. It's absolutely free. However, it does not allow me any of the features that I have on my personal meetup. Can you see my page?
No, we are. No, the screen sharing was showing just the document, the requirements doc.
Okay, hold on. Let me see if I can show my whole entire page. And I'll show you what I mean here. There we go. Start screen share. All right, you see that page?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna let me know if you still see. Do you see my personal meetup page?
Um,
No.
no.
You gotta share each one. You can't share your desktop. Ugh. Oh yeah, there it is. The Rosario Robinson. You see that one?
Uh,
Yeah, we can see it.
Okay. All right. So let me go back over there. Okay. So if I go to one of my meetup page, let's say Rails Girls Atlanta, I don't have this capability that everything here as I do with my sisters everywhere. And I have seen, let me see, LGBT tech, LGBT. Let me show you this one page that I really, really like. If I can just find it. Here we go. Lesbians who tech. Okay. So I found this. We actually are in alliance with this organization because of one of our LGBT community. But they actually said, they actually have their own meetup space on their website. And this is what I'm actually looking to have on our website. Let me post this on here so you'll have it. The reason being is because I don't have to leave our portal for anything, for community information, for meetups, news, anything. I should not have to leave and go to another platform for anything. Does that make sense? And I know this has been done so many times before, but we just need to figure out a way to make sure we implement it on our portal project.
so in meetups, you wanted like we should show the places where sisters meetup are going to held, right?
Yes, but I don't want to have to, I don't want people, let me see, I don't know if let's say if you go to Mountain View, and what happens in Mountain View. So there's nothing there. See, and you could say there's the recent photos here, hang out with us, get notification, and then their most recent events. Let me see if what happens here. See, everything stays here. For us right now, when I post a global meetup, I have to go here. And I'm not saying that maybe Meetup Everywhere has an API or something that maybe we could just pull, whatever, but I'm saying I shouldn't have to go outside of our portal to do this, right? To me, anyway. Does that make sense? I mean, I know I'm just talking about one particular feature, but I just wanted to go over that one bit. Okay.
Yeah, it totally does make sense, but I think we need to research what does the Meetup API, what can it offer?
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So I totally agree. Let me make sure I'm taking notes too, so appreciate it. Okay. So do you see my? No, I have to go back and share my screen again. Ugh, it's just too much. All right, I'm going to go back to my document. All right. So, and then there's the community administrative functionality. So, from an administrative perspective, that's me. And hopefully, in the near future, I will have an additional person helping me. But I need to be able to create other administrators and then be able to create other communities within that. And then
There
from
was,
a, yes, go ahead.
there was this one, right? The first one is a like the first administrator would be you. Like you'll have each and every functionality. I mean, you can create other community pages and you can assign other community administrators. This is for like for each community administrator, right?
That's exactly right. Admin equals super admin.
Yeah, that's me, the sister's keeper. That's you.
Yes.
Yeah. And the second
Sisters.
level comes to each community administrator, right?
Yes. And then the community admin, so there should be a community admin. You're exactly right. So we have a super admin, then we have a community admin. And the community admin only has what do you call it? Privileges for that community area, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, the
Yeah,
community admin will have a functionality to change the content, add the content, delete content on that community only, on that community
right.
page only.
Yes. So my thing is, if Latina's in computing, if I create, first of all, I have to be able, as a super admin, I have to be able to create a community, right?
Yes.
I suspect we will have more new sub-communities. And it has to be on the level, I'm going to go back to that page, it has to be, I have to be able to go deep down if I need to. So this is level 1, this is level 2, and then we're going to only go down to a level 3 if needed for this. Does that make sense?
Okay. So
We have
there
to
are
have,
sub-communities within each community, right?
yes, these are like, so sisters, all of these communities, underrepresented groups, LGBT, Turkish women, Arab women, and Asian women are under sisters. But
Okay.
then Latinas and Black women are under underrepresented women, and then Asian is Indian, Filipinos, and Chinese are under the Asian.
Yeah, so like the communities admins would be the community admin for Asian women would be able to create Indian women, Filipino women, Chinese women, right?
Yes, 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 yes. Because right now, all of these lower level are all created by me, and it's a lot of work. I just have to tell you, it's a lot of work.
Okay.
However, and it's dual work, right? So they provide me the content, and then I upload it. So it's like they get the content, but they should be able to do all of that with all of the levels.
Okay.
Um, based on, that's why I had all of where is it? These levels. So you have, from a community admin perspective, they can give all of these other levels, assign people to all of those other levels.
Okay.
Because it is a lot of work, especially like for Asian women in computing that has 3 sub-communities. And that one is I suspect, will continue to grow.
Okay. So
Okay.
community admin for this Indian women or Asian women, like
Hmm.
can assign these four lower levels to other admins, right?
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
And like I said, they could actually. What do these levels mean? What kind of, it depends on what kind of privileges each one of these are defined. And we can do that. You all can do that.
Okay.
I just gave you some indication here what I have worked with in the past, because we can't give everyone administrative rights. First of all, it's dangerous. um, but you do want to have certain people at certain level that are going to only contribute to news or something like that. You want to have, maybe they have an intern that's going to help them with managing the content or something like that, at different levels. That's why I wanted to make sure that we tackle that first. Okay?
Yeah, okay.
And then these are just examples of creating a new resource area for that community. So number one, the community admins can create different users with different levels. And then number two, be able to create different pages for their community.
Okay.
Okay?
These are the different sections. These are the different sections for a community, right?
Right.
So a community admin would be able to create different sections as they are needed, right? So yeah.
Exactly. And I think the one thing here, I'm organizing meetups. The meetups is probably the last one, last bit. So what I want to do is I'm going to draw something. Let's do a page break here. So let's prioritize the priority. Okay. So number one is actually creating super admins, community admins, and what was it? And community admins. Those are the two. Okay. Then the next one would be creating or developing community area. What does all of that entail? That entails creating pages as needed, like news, resources, GHC. Everyone has a GHC because they do things at GHC, etc. User privilege level, right?
Yeah.
And I would say the final one is the meetup, if we can do that.
Okay.
Okay. Right. Okay. So my approach would be, and this is just my how I'm thinking that you want to do a design. Maybe it's just wireframes or something like that for now to see what that flow looks like. And then how are you going to implement the features implementation planning? I think that would be great for the next couple of weeks before coding starts, right? To me, it's like, and you guys stop me if you have any questions. I'm thinking out loud right now. So let's say that we have this one. This is our home page. Maybe home page here. And then what does that look like from my perspective? And the home page is really super admin, right? What does that look like? I want to be able to create community admin. I want to be able to do all the features based on what's this page here? Based on section 2, administrator function.
Yeah.
Okay. Section 2 above. Right. I want to be able to do all of those functions. And then, let me highlight this again. What does that look like? Now, what does a community admin page look like? a login. Now this is the community login, I guess. Right? And then you definitely want to do be able to configure or create pages, and then the second one would probably do assign users with levels. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I was thinking in the next couple of weeks that you do design, you know, however you want. I think you both had some already initial designs that you submitted for your proposals, which look good, and just work together. And then how you're going to implement, and then plan on how you're going to handle those features. And remember, you only have 12 weeks. I'm not looking for, you know, the whole entire finished product, but I am looking for at least the super admin and the community admin login pages. What does those look like? And then once they log out, how does that look from, you know, there's a landing page there. Because this configure create pages or assign these users, you want those configurable, right? At least I'm thinking. So this is me thinking out loud. I wrote the requirements for this because this is things that I have to do that is very tedious work. With the new website, I'm getting hit from a lot of the community you know, other community admins and saying, where do we have to host our own page now? You know, but they're still part of ABI community, so there's got to be something that we could do to provide this space for them. Any questions? You haven't? Any questions? I want to stop right here and just answer any questions that you may have.
Yeah, I have some questions.
Sure, go ahead.
They're pretty general because sometimes I see that the same thing probably has different names, and I just want to be sure. So first we were talking about super admins and what they can do. So they can create communities. What is a community? Sisters is a community, and Grace Hopper Celebration is also a community.
That's correct. I want to be able to create a community for Sisters, Grace Hopper, and then I need to be able to create sub-communities under those as well.
Okay. And then the Asian and the Arab groups and the LGBT and all the others, those are considered sub-communities.
That is correct. Yes.
And we'll have admins sub-communities. What about the sub-communities like Latinas and Indian and Filipinas? Are they going to have like a sub-community admin?
Yes.
Also.
Absolutely. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
Good questions.
the point that Anna pointed out, that we are going to
Yes.
have admins plus sub-communities inside sub-communities, right?
That's correct. That's a good way of putting it. Every community that is created, whether it's a community at the top level or sub-community or a sub-sub-community, they will all have administrators.
Okay, so an admin for a community in one level will have all the rights for the communities that are below it, right? Like
That's
the admin
correct.
for, yeah, the admin for Asian women community would have all the rights for Indian women, Philippines women, Chinese women, right?
That's a good question. No. Unless, let's say, now here's the that's a very good question. So here's the scenario currently. So 3 of the moderators for Asian Women in Computing are each a moderator from the Indian, Filipinas, and Chinese.
Yes, so there would be one moderator for Asian women in computing, right? And there are three subgroups within that community that are Indian women, Philippines, and Chinese. So there would be 3 moderators for these 3 communities.
Well, you know, all three of those would not have access to, let's say that Asian Women in Computing has an Indian, a Chinese, and a Filipino. But the Filipino moderator would definitely have access to the Filipino community and not the Indian or Chinese.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I was asking. Like
Yes.
the admin for Asian Women in Computing subgroup will have access to all of these three, right?
Not not all. So okay, let's do it this way. Let's do. That's a good. This is a great exercise, actually. Um. Okay, so we have this Asian Women in Computing. Right, inside this Asian Women in Computing, Asian WIC. All right, so we have Indian, and Filipina, and then the Chinese. Right. Inside of those, really, they should only have access to these. And it's just because of the nature of this would have that, this Filipino would have that, and this would have here. So this is Indian, Filipina, and Chinese. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. But I was asking, like, there would be a moderator for Asian Women in Computing group, right?
These are the three moderators for Asian Women in Computing.
Okay,
The
okay. Okay, I
so
was thinking that there would be a like super moderator for all of these three groups, and that would have access to all of these three groups, and these three individual moderators will have access to their individual subgroups only.
right, exactly. Three moderators. Let me put that in here. Three moderators. But they would each have access to each of these sub-communities.
Okay.
I have one more question.
Sure, go ahead.
So, do we want to dynamically create the top level organizations? Like, for instance, now we have only Sisters and Grace Hopper community. Do we want to dynamically add another organizations?
For now, no, but it should be easier enough to change in the future, I would say. Because we are, you know, you're both sisters, correct? Are you both sisters?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
And so, you know, I posted a question about, you know, what if we had like a male and a female community to help those male supporters. So that's something we're looking into. So I want to be able to create that. For now, the only two communities that we have is the Sisters and the Grace Hopper community. But I want to be able to create a new top level community in the future. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. I mean, we could hard code it for this time, but it would be easier if we could just do a, you know, maybe a configuration of turning that switch on and off or something. I don't want it readily accessible, but if there's a way that we can do it on the back end, that would be perfect. So any pressing questions so far? I think probably the trading and the level access is going to be probably the most challenging. I don't know. I really don't know. You ladies are very smart anyway, so it'd probably be very easy for you.
We can handle it.
Yes, you can. I have every confidence. I have all the confidence in the world that you can. But this will be a huge load off of me. You have no idea how much time and work it takes to create all of these communities. So it is a lot of time. Let me see. Let me look at. I've added some. Like there's a new community. When someone's interested in creating a new community, I've added. You can look at the proposal form that they have to complete. This is my checklist of things that I have to do to help you kind of design and understand. You know, I just wanted the really basics so that the community administrators can really have a lot of control over their area. But, you know, when they start putting in news or anything like that, anything that they can share easily through social media, that's probably very easy to do later on. So I really wanted to tackle the features that are really important for me to make things less for me, less work for me. That sounds good as at least as a starting point, um, and you know I'm always on Google or either IRC. Find me there or send me an email. That's perfectly fine. Um, all those three avenues. And if you ever want to meet or do a hangout and you have a question, I'm perfectly okay with doing that too. Just give me a heads up. I'm usually pretty flexible. So even if it's something that's last minute, ping me on Google and see if I'm available. I can probably do something.
Okay.
Okay. And as you're designing, I have to tell you, please document as you're designing, as you're coding and developing. Okay. Um, you both should have been added to the GitHub, and there is a folder in there for documents. So if you want to create a folder for detailed design or something like that, that's fine. I mean, document for detailed design. Make sure you just put Sisters GSoC 14 portal as your prefix, and then whatever the name of the document is. Okay.
Okay.
Let's just keep it kind of consistent. Let me put that in the window.
How about using a documentation framework like Sphinx, where we can create pages and we can export them to any other kind of documents and the PDFs, so that we will keep it consistent? Because with, for instance, Sphinx, which is used mostly like a lot for Python projects, you can document directly your code and add extra pages to explain the requirements or any other workflow that you are doing.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. So what is this? Can you type it in there? Is this
Yeah, just a second.
So I know we said documentation, but also for the coding as well. When you're actually coding, we definitely want to try to document. If we have a software that we can use that down, that would be perfect. I'd be interested to see what. There's a lot of them out there, but I want to make sure that we're consistent across the board too. Did you type it in the chat area, or did you send it somewhere else?
I think it's the chat area.
I don't see it on mine.
Maybe afterwards. I don't know, because I'm using now my phone and I can't find in the Google Hangouts where is the. Oh, now I see it. Okay, isn't it there?
Let me stop sharing my screen, maybe. No, I don't see it.
Huh. Okay, I'll try to send it once again after the meeting.
Okay. Yeah. Perfect. So at least I think the next couple of weeks before you have some design time, you guys can work together on trying to figure out, what's the best. I'm thinking the 2 login pages for, I think the home page for the super admin and all of that, and then work your way down. Any technical questions or challenges, or you want to see what's going on, maybe always leverage the entire GSoC team. So please post it to the list, to the Sisters Dev list. Tech discussions to Sisters Dev. Collaboration is really a key for the program. So we're, kind of measuring you on how you are leveraging your team, how you're communicating. So keep that in mind too. So you may want to put that on your personal calendar to maybe post a couple of times during the list. It's always good. You never know what people are working on, and that's the whole point behind open source. So keep that in mind. Always leverage your mentors as well. If you can't meet with them, because Lynn is on the West Coast, Pramita and Laura, they're on the East Coast, but Laura travels a lot, so she travels East Coast and then sometimes on the West Coast as well. So always try to give them a day before you meet up with them, or give them a day, give them some heads up so they can plan accordingly. Again, IRC, I'm always on IRC, I'm always on Google. So, and if I'm not available, it'll send me an email on IRC to let me know that somebody is available to me.
We can schedule we all can agree on a particular time where we can meet every week or every 2 weeks. That would be better, I guess.
Okay,
Yes.
and so you want to do something with your mentors, okay? So Laura is going to be the PM. So Laura is the PM. And then you have Lynn and Pramita, who are co-mentors as well. And Laura also is a mentor as well. So make sure you're scheduling regular meetings with them. But then with me, since I am your user, I'm your user, and you have user-specific questions, include me, and maybe every 2 weeks or so we can check in to see how things going, or if you want to demo an application or something like that, that's fine.
Okay. Yeah, for the
Yeah.
for scheduling regular meetings, I was thinking to agree upon a particular time where we all are free and we can meet there at that time.
Yeah,
Since
I would.
Lynn and Laura could not join today,
Yeah, so you
so
have to. So your first line of communication would be Laura, Lynn, and Pramita. And
yeah,
then I am, because I'm mentoring on 2 other projects as well, and I'm also the org admin. Um, I'm also your user. So, when you want to demo something for me, then include me. But if you wanted to do something weekly or do something bi-weekly with your team, I would suggest make sure that you get Laura, Lynn, and Pramita to get on, you know, like a regular schedule with you.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. All right. And
Right.
I'll be sending, you know, GSoC students, we have certain requirements as well for the program that you have to fulfill. And so I'll be sending you those, you know, like weekly reminders or bi-weekly reminders to making sure that you're getting things done. And there's a lot of things you have to do in Melange as well. So I'll make sure that I'll send out those reminders.
Okay.
There. On board. Okay. This is good. I mean, I'm really excited about this. I have to deal with what I have to deal with right now, and that's okay. But I think for now I'm stable enough where the communities can take over what they want, and then if we can get something at least going for them by midsummer or the end of the summer, that would put a huge load off of me. So this is going to be in motion, in production, as soon as you guys can make it happen. So, any more questions?
No, I'm good.
Okay, and I will post this so that everybody can review it later. Laura, Lynn, and Pramita, they can review it later, but it also be accessible for you too if you have a
Yeah.
question about something that we talked about earlier.
Yeah, sure. That would be great if you can post this to us so then we can access this if we.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, well, thank you, ladies. Again, I'm available whenever. Just give me a heads up, just like your mentors too. Please give them a heads up. Give them a couple of days, or work it out with them to make sure the timing is right for everyone. And always take your technical discussions to the list. So leverage your other fellow students. They bring a wealth of information to the community as well. And have a great weekend.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. All
Have a
right.
nice
Bye-bye.
weekend.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Ciao.
Bye-bye.
Bye.